Listen up, folks. We're diving into the high-octane world of marketing agencies. Now, having a couple of big, loyal clients might seem like a jackpot. But wait, danger's lurking in the shadows. It's called client concentration. Picture this, a marketing agency raking in revenue from just a few major clients. Sounds like a solid plan, right? Not so fast. We're talking about a tightrope walk over a pit of risks and challenges. Losing a major client or facing a cut in their marketing budget, that's a recipe for financial instability. Ouch, nobody wants that. With the help of some agency leaders, we're going to touch on some dangers of client concentration and how the agencies handle that. When a marketing agency puts all of its eggs in a few big client baskets, they're just one sudden change away from disaster. Losing a major client can send their revenue plummeting.
Like when you see like a big client who's going to churn, you can like plug that in real quick and be like, okay, what does this mean for us next month? Like, do we need to cut expenses? Like, do we need to be careful? Like, where are we at?
Concentrating efforts on a small number of clients limits an agency's capacity to pursue new businesses and expand their client base. But it's not as easy as saying no to new clients.
So our agency has the benefit of having a large amount of clients, and we've done so by working in several different niches. And the question is really, how do we diversify our risk? And the truth of the matter is, you really can't, because if an agency or another company comes to you and they're willing to pay you 20 or 30 times what you're used to being paid, you're a business. If you can give them a quality service, you're not going to turn down that business. And so there's really no way of avoiding it. The best thing you can do is, if you get a large client in the door, I would recommend, instead of taking a profit from that newfound success, reinvest it into the business so that you can get more staff and you can eventually get in more clients that are of the same caliber to grow your agency, so that way that one client actually starts to become the regular size of most of your clients. And you can do that by reinvesting into your agency, bringing on better talent and better lead gen.
A marketing agency with a few dominant clients may have limited bargaining power when it comes to negotiating fees and contracts. When you're dealing with all these big shots, they hold all the cards. They'll demand discounts and special treatment because they know they bring in the big bucks. And guess what? That could seriously mess with your bottom line. Diversify and you can reduce the pain a bit.
One thing I think we've done pretty well is kind of diversify our client base. So we really aren't overly dependent on a handful of clients. We have about 180 total clients. So if 5 or 10 of them dropped off the map, sure, especially if it was our top ones, it would hurt, but it would not be utterly devastating. So one of the things that I think we've done really well is we do operate at a pretty competitive price point. So actually undercut some of our competitors. And our plan actually is to go kind of the scale play, to have more accounts and more campaigns under management than probably the typical agency in our space. And so that's the big way that we kind of sidestep that risk.
So what's in the right mix of bigger to smaller clients? Some agency leaders have got it down to a fine art.
We are very specific about the weighting of the revenue at the top end, because the risk is obviously, we need to manage that level of risk. But I think that we've got it relatively right. I would say that, in most industries, the 80-20 principle applies, where 20% of your clients are driving 80% of your revenue. And we've tried to make sure that 20% is not sitting on 80% of our revenue, that 20% is sitting more on 50% of our revenue. And then the long tail is sitting on 50% of the revenue. So it's a little bit more evenly weighted and the risk is mitigated to some degree.
But there are no one-size-fits-all solutions for this, and other client mixes can work too.
About 30% of our revenue comes from our agency's top 5 clients.
I'd say about 15% of our total revenue comes from our top 5 clients.
Our top 5 clients make up 6.7% of our total revenue.
Does your agency have control over the client concentration dangers lurking in the shadows? There's another thing in common with all the leading agencies featured in this video. They do client reporting smarter, not harder, because how you communicate your marketing success to your clients is more important than the results themselves. Here's how you can get started. Sign up for a free trial of Agency Analytics. Find the link in the description below. If you're new to our channel, make sure to subscribe, leave a like, and hit that bell notification button to stay updated with our future videos. Thank you for watching, and we'll see you in the next one.